You were a fighter jet. So being a fighter pilot is more about control, and being an astronaut and survival in space is more about a lot of protocols, procedures, and working with people from different parts of the world. So how is it different, and what did you have to unlearn to be an astronaut?
Thank you, Yashasvi, for your question. But before I answer the question, I would like to say good morning to DPS. Good morning, DPS. See, इतनी देर से आप लोग बात कर रहे हो, बहुत आवाज़ आ रही है. But when I say good morning, I don't hear it back. Can we have it one more time? Good morning, DPS. Hey. Yes, that is more alive. You feel alive in this audience. The top row, last row, can you hear me at the back? You can raise your hands if you can hear me. Okay, fantastic. Very happy to be here, to be talking to all of you. In the recent past, probably the largest audience that I am addressing. So thank you to the organizers, thank you to the team for bringing me here. And if you all promise me that you will listen and you will not talk amongst yourself, I will probably show you some great fun videos from space. How about it? Do you want to see that? Okay, so I will come back to Yashasvi's question. The difference between being a fighter pilot and becoming an astronaut. I think the major difference is that you have to learn the ability to work in teams. We still work in teams when we are in the Air Force. We still work, with a lot of planes that are going together for combat. But in that cockpit, in the plane that you are sitting, all decisions are yours. Nobody else is there to help you. Whereas in a space capsule, there is a big team. There is a huge team on ground. There are people from different countries, different cultures. And you have to learn the skill of working with everybody to make an efficient team. So I think team working was the biggest change or biggest delta that I had to learn when I was transitioning from being a fighter pilot to being an astronaut.
Thank you so much, sir, for that clarity. We now move on to the student questions. The first question goes to Ms. Shriya.
A very good morning, sir.
It's on.
A very good morning, sir. I'm Shriya from Pallavi Model School, Alwal. My question to you is, sir, if you had to point us young students and entrepreneurs in India towards one important space-related problem, what would it be, and why do you think we should start solving it today?
Actually, there are a lot of problems that need to be solved in space as we go to Moon and then eventually Mars. But I think sustaining human life in space is the most difficult challenge. It is very hard to sustain life even on the International Space Station, which is at an altitude of about 400 kilometers, very close to Earth. But when we talk about going to Moon, you have to have self-sufficiency when you are there on the surface of the Moon and be able to sustain life on Moon. So I think that would be one challenge which kind of we are already working on right now, but that is the problem that we need to solve before we can have some humans living on the Moon in the near future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I think a lot of our students now know where we need to work on to create an impact on space. So thank you so much.
I hope you do. And there is one more problem which I would want all of you to work on. Whoever is interested in space exploration, if you can solve the problem of space toilet, I think that would be something amazing. It is not something that is great as of now. So if we can find a solution to that, that would be something really great.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Good morning, sir. I'm Siddhant Balaji from Pallavi Model School, Boinpalli. Sir, I would like to ask you that how did you first feel when you saw Earth from space? Like, what was your wow moment?
Did all of you get his question? He was asking that how do you first feel when you look back at Earth from space? The first thought that comes to your mind. So it is a very different perspective, beta. You have never seen this perspective. I have been flying all my life, but the maximum that I had flown was around 15 kilometers, 16 kilometers of altitude. So you never really get out of Earth. You always are within Earth, you never really see as Earth from the outside. So the first time when you get to space and you look at Earth from the outside, the first feeling that is very strong, that comes very naturally, is that you are from there. That is your home. You know, the Earth is your home, not a particular place, not a region, or let's say not a country also. You know, you don't feel you are from India, you are from, let's say, Telangana, or you are from Hyderabad, but you feel that you are from Earth. That is the strongest feeling that you get. And, it is not forced something. And I say this to students, if you are, tomorrow you decide to join and become an astronaut, and you are floating in space, and if you happen to meet an alien, let's say, which will be quite scary, but if you were to meet an alien, how would you introduce yourself? Where are you from?
I'm from the Earth.
You are from the Earth, right? So your sense of belongingness, it comes from Earth the minute you go outside of Earth. So it feels that this is your home, that is your planet. The boundaries kind of dissolve, and you feel that your entire planet is your home. That is the first feeling that you get. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the answer, sir. That was truly informative.
Thank you, sir. That was wonderful. Children really mesmerized with your inputs. We now move on to Pranav for the next question.
Good morning, sir. My name is Pranav. I am the head boy of Delhi Public School, Mahendra Hills. And sir, I'd like to ask you, how was your childhood, sir? Were you very naughty? Were there any hobbies which you had? Like, what was that moment or something which you had that led to you becoming an army officer, a person in space? What was something in your childhood that could relate?
So in my childhood, I would tell you, I was probably also, if I was a child right now and there was an astronaut visiting my school, I would also have been sitting somewhere in the back row and talking away with my friends. That was what my childhood was. Gradually things happened. At every step when you move forward, you have to show interest. When we are young, we don't understand it. And it is fair, that is a time that you need to have fun and enjoy everything that you're doing. But as you grow, you have to show interest in something. So I think I was pulled towards the Air Force for some reasons. And when I got into the National Defense Academy and eventually when I started flying, I really enjoyed it, and I put in a lot of effort to learn that very well. You have to show interest, you have to work hard towards something, whatever it is, and it can be something that you like, you really enjoy doing, right? It doesn't have to be something that you don't enjoy. But choose that and then direct your attention towards that to become good at it. You will have to put in the work. But if you're enjoying while you're putting in the work, you won't feel the pain of putting the work, right? So that matching is very, very important. I was very fortunate. It happened to me in terms of flying. Like I really enjoyed, learning flying, doing new things and becoming better at it. So I think while I was putting in the work, I was also having fun. So that has to happen for each one of you. You can choose a field, you can choose a sector, you can choose a discipline. But whatever it is, you then have to put in the work to become good at it. And then gradually, every step I kept on doing things that I could do at that moment. The one trait that all of you should have, it doesn't matter how good you are right now. You are in a class, there is somebody coming first. There is somebody not coming first, 20th or 25th or I don't know how many students are in a class today. But there is somebody also coming last. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. As long as when you get out of here, you get into a field which you love and you then try to improve every time and become better at it over a period of time. Then within a matter of 5 to 10 years, you will be really great at what you do. That is what has to happen for all of you. So the ability to never give up and always trying to improve yourself is something that all of you should keep with yourself, because these 2 years are not your life. The next 20 years are going to be your life, right? That is how you should look at life. And that is what is going to define how well you are going to do. Thank you.
It's so interesting to think, sir, that today we all are sitting here and tomorrow, if we really do put our effort into it, we can rise to such great heights quite literally and figuratively.
Absolutely,
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Good morning, sir. My name is Drishti Jha and I'm the head girl of DPS Nacharam. So, sir, as your book says that skills need practice and you can't rely on training, because these skills are those to maintain and hone your skills. On the same note, can you share your skills that helped you throughout your Air Force and your astronaut journey?
I think the single most important thing, not just for my career, I've met a lot of other people also who have been very successful at what they do. And the single most important thing that you can have is discipline in your life, right? Because you can be motivated one day, you can be inspired one day, you will not be inspired the next day, you will not be motivated the next day. But if you have the discipline to do the things that you need to do, then you will definitely be successful. So there are a lot of things that we need to cultivate, but the first and foremost is, I think discipline is very, very important. And if I can, one more quality that I would like all of you to develop, it would be resilience. The ability to move forward from failure, the ability to move forward from success, both of them. Learn from it, move forward, get on to the next task, and do equally well. Do it one time, do it 2 times, do it 3 times, do it 10 times. And then you really become somebody that everybody will, recognize, and, and it doesn't even matter if they recognize, but you will be very satisfied with where you have reached. So that are the 2 things, discipline and resilience, I would say, are on top of my list for anybody to have. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring and wise answer. I hope everyone here present reads your book and gets to learn and carve their path for a better future.
Yeah, I know. No, very few of you are disciplined right now. Very few of you are resilient right now. I was not disciplined. I was not resilient when I was your age. I know that. But what I'm saying to you is not for today. What I'm telling you is for next 20 years. Gradually, you can build it up. You can, progress in that direction. It will happen. Today is not the day. Today you just need to know and go back from here and probably give it a thought. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your patient answers. I know the crowd is just waiting to go for the audience round. So we are done with the stage presentations, and now the question round moves to our audience, and I would like to hand over the mic to my colleague Ms. Shiba for the audience round.
You can raise your hand if you want to ask questions. Okay, the first question goes here.
Good morning, Mr. Shukla sir. My name is Evan from Delhi Public School, Nadargul. And I would like to ask you, how did your journey change from being a fight pilot to an astronaut? Would you please take us down a trip of your memory lane of how you transitioned from being a fighter pilot to an astronaut?
Okay. Did everybody get the question? What was asked? How did my journey change from being a fighter pilot to being an astronaut?
Inspired by this.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Samar. Now we have the questions are open from the first floor. My colleague Anjali ma'am is there. So first floor, raise your hands those who want to ask questions to sir here. Let's see who is the lucky one. Anjali ma'am, hand over the mic to them.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Children are very excited here, and there are a few more questions from this side. So first question goes to...
Greetings, sir. I'm Shubhayu Banerjee from DPS Nacharam. It's an honor to have you here. I'd like to ask, on the ISS, you performed roughly 7 experiments, Indian experiments in microgravity. Which result stuck with you the most or strike you was the most anomalous, the most surprising?
Thank you for your question, but a very good morning to you. We yet have some time to get to the evening. I took 7 different experiments with me to space, and all of them were fantastic, and even a simple experiment that you do in your lab, it becomes very challenging when you take it to the environment of space, because nothing, behaves in the same way. Like the water, when you try to drop a water doesn't drop. It becomes a ball and it will keep floating in space, right? Same thing happens with fire. When you light a candle, it doesn't burn like a flame. It burns like a ball, a sphere, because there is no gravity. So these things give you really peculiar insights into how do these things work when you are in space, right? The one that I really enjoyed was, I was working on stem cells to figure out how to prevent muscle loss when you are in space. Because when you get to microgravity, you don't use your muscles at all. So they degrade very quickly. So the researchers wanted to see that can we add some supplements to see if we can prevent this muscle loss in space. That was a very, very interesting experiment, and I really enjoyed doing that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Science is exact, but it's always interesting, you know, when we get to see science being pushed forward, and I hope that as science students, we also get to do that someday. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. I hope so too. Thank you.